Hello, Ranger Nation. This is Josh Mason. I'm sitting alongside Todd Jones for our latest edition of the Rangers Rundown here at Rooster's Backyard on Greenwood Sports Network.
Josh, today we have senior girls varsity round baller Grace Franks. Mindy Cummins and Lindsay Ridgway is going to sit down with you and discuss the bond package. Defensive backs Kaysen Brooks and Dylan Payton are in the house. And the man of the hour, our head football coach, Brian Hill, will be the last one up. So put down last week's Halloween candy because it's Ranger Rundown time.
And welcome back. First up, we have Grace Franks, senior basketball player, one of only two seniors, plays guard, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Grace, it's great to have you on here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, are you ready to get going?
Of course, let's get going.
All right, so what are you most excited about this season?
You know, there are many things to be excited about this season. We've got a new group of girls, and we've got a new coaching staff as well, and I think that we all have a lot to bring to the table this season, and there have been a lot of things that we've gone over this season, and, like the preseason, and it's just good to be out here as a senior, you know, last ride. We've got a good season up ahead, I think, so.
All right.
Grace, where have you seen the most growth so far this preseason?
That's a good question. Coach Kilgore has came in this season, and so have Coach Johnson and Coach Saavedra. They've came in, and they've pushed us to be a great team. And
so it's all kind of new stuff, right?
yes, it really kind of is.
So you got we had two seniors coming or two players coming back. So like it's brand new coaches, brand new team. Everything's kind of starting over from from zero, right? Everyone's got a fresh start.
Yes, sir. We sure have.
Yeah.
We sure have.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for you this season?
The biggest challenge for me, you know, I've been a competitor all of my life, and it's just kind of hard to, you know, make a mistake. You want to play 110% all the time. You want to not make any mistakes, and it's hard to, for me personally, just to understand that you're not going to be perfect all the time. Like, it's just an imperfect world, unfortunately. But Coach Kilgore has told us many, many times, you make a mistake, nobody died, nobody lost $1 million. So, you know, you just have to turn back around, make the next play.
Well, you know, Grace, I know somebody that lost $1.
Oh, only $1?
Yes, $1.
Okay, well, $1 compared to $1 million, though.
Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
You know, Grace, we were able to speak with Coach Kilgore at the very beginning of the season after kind of working with you guys through the summer. Maybe what are the biggest challenges for the team this season so far?
You know, I think we've been growing together as a team, but the past several seasons that I've played in high school, we've had several, you know, teams that have taken it to us, and we've tried to fight back, and unfortunately we came up short. There were teams such as Leveland and Seminole and Monahans and even Wall, which we're going to play this Tuesday, tomorrow. And they put up a good fight, and I think it'll be good for us to take what we've learned this season, take the new plays that Coach Kilgore has given us, and we've just got to get out there and put it all together and make it happen.
All right.
Okay.
You know, Grace, I know that you have you fought through your years of middle school and junior high and played basketball ever since then. What does it mean to you this year, your senior year, being on varsity and putting on that uniform for the first time? What do you think that's going to mean to you?
It's a big privilege. It really is. It's just a testament to the hard work that I've put in my entire life. And I say my entire life, but the seasons that I've played basketball, it's just a good thing. It's, you know, it feels like an accomplishment to get up there and be able to put on that jersey, get up there and see those amazing Greenwood Ranger fans that we have.
All right, good
well,
deal.
I think it is your whole life. I remember you in Little Dribblers back when. You know,
it sure feels like it's been my whole life. Not even
nobody
gonna lie.
can really make it to the basket. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, you ready for some fun questions?
Let's get to it.
All right, rapid fire coming at you, blazing fast. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Favorite color?
Turquoise.
Favorite food?
Mama's biscuits and gravy.
Sounds good. Favorite music?
Country.
Country. Dogs or cats? There's a right answer, by the way.
Dogs.
That's the right
Oh,
answer.
that's it. Yep.
Cars or trucks?
Truck for sure.
All right, if you had to eat one of these items, which one would you eat? Alligator or frog's legs?
I've never had either one. I feel like frog legs might be the way to go. That's,
Okay. All right, we're going to go with frog legs.
Yes,
I
sir.
heard they both taste like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken
I guess
nowadays,
so.
I've heard.
All right, very last question. Would you rather have a giraffe neck or duck feet?
Giraffe neck by far. I mean, I'm pretty short, 5'2". That's not a good look sometimes on the basketball court, so a giraffe neck would really help me out there.
Sore throats would be pretty bad, though. That'd be brutal.
Maybe so.
That was a good final question to end on there, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Grace, we appreciate you coming in. Best of luck on your senior season this year. And hopefully the community come out and support the basketball teams as they get fired up.
Well,
Yeah.
thank y'all for having me.
Oh, it was great having you. Tomorrow night, in Wall, 6:15.
Yes, sir.
Come out and support
That is
them.
correct.
You got Saturday's a home game.
Yes,
Saturday's
sir.
against Sands, another team we want to beat.
Yes,
right?
sir. Pack the stands, y'all. We want y'all to be there. Come out and support us.
If you can't make the trip to Wall, the game will be brought to you on Greenwood Sports Network. We'll live stream that, and I'll take a shot at trying to announce a basketball game. We'll
All
see how
right.
it goes. All right, up next, Josh is going to talk bond package with Mindy and Lindsay, so don't go anywhere.
And welcome back to the Ranger Rundown. Tonight we've got a couple of special guests who are a part of the Vote for Greenwood PAC. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and we'll get started.
My name is Melissa Dixon.
And I'm Mindy Cummings.
Okay. So we've got a few questions for you that we've kind of talked about, gotten approved, right? So we'll just kind of roll through those. We appreciate you coming on, talk about the bond. First of all, are you guys employees of the school?
No, we are not. So Mindy and myself, we don't work for the school. We do have several educators that are on our PAC, though. So they've helped us kind of throughout this whole process. Both of us, along with Lindsay Ridgway, who helps run the PAC with us, we're just volunteers, just parents that want to change. And, yeah.
Well, I was a part of the last PAC, so I know a little bit about that. How differently was the community involved in the creation of this bond package?
So this time around, the bond was developed by a committee that had members from citizens of Greenwood, teachers, administrators. We all kind of got together. We took about a year and kind of just really learned like what the district needs are, and kind of started there and said, okay, these are what the district needs. Let's go from here and try and put a plan together. So we had a couple different ideas going through. One was build a new high school, but in the end, the plan that we came up with that we presented to the school board is what's on the ballot, and that plan checked the most boxes for us, so we thought that was the best to go with.
Okay. Are there any specific problem areas within the district that you guys are trying to target with this bond?
Yeah. So when we kind of did all the research and what our district needed, the two biggest concerns that we saw were the overcrowding and the safety. If you've gone out to the high school, you've seen how many portables there are,
Right.
which is a big sign that we're very overcrowded. So we definitely wanted to address that. When we were kind of like studying and putting together the plan for the bond, we found out that for our district, we would need an additional 250,000 square feet of educational space to meet the average square footage of a school district that has our enrollment numbers, which is huge. So adding a new elementary school and a new intermediate school will definitely help address those issues. And then those two schools on top of additions to the high school would add capacity at every grade level. So we thought that was a great way to kind of help solve the overcrowding issue.
Okay.
The second part was the safety. Safety's been a huge priority for school districts the past couple years, which rightfully so.
Yes, ma'am.
Greenwood has done a great job at being proactive and trying to provide safety measures to put in place. But, there's limitations on that with older facilities and things like that. So if we pass this bond, safety would be enhanced at all the campuses, which is huge.
So we all understand that Midland ISD also has a bond. Ours is split into two different propositions, Proposition A and B. Can you maybe explain why there's two?
Yes, of course. So under the Texas Election Code, the general purpose and special purpose facilities must be on a separate proposition on the ballot. So since on Proposition B, we have the Student Event Center, and it has over 1,000 seats, it's considered a special purpose facility and has to have its own separate proposition. So that's why it's Proposition B, and that's why we split it into two.
All right, makes sense. So what's all included in both propositions, and why were the specific items that the school district wanted to do? How did we get to where we are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like you said, two propositions. I'll start with A. Proposition A includes a new elementary and a new intermediate school. These will be located on the intersection of 1110 and County Road 120, which is land that the school already owns. Once the intermediate school is moved into the new building, then the middle school will expand into the current intermediate school. The high school will get additions both inside and out, and it'll look like a whole new high school. They're going to address the front of the school, so they're going to make a big entrance, which will be great because it's kind of hard to see where the entrance is now.
Right.
And then
lots of options there.
Yes, lots of options. And then it'll also have a safety vestibule right there, which is helps address the safety concern that the district had. The high school is going to get new science labs, a new library, additional cafeteria space because it's pretty tight right now, and a couple new classrooms too. So that'll all be for the high school. And then when the bond planning committee was kind of like getting together and seeing what the district needed, we wanted to make sure with this bond we didn't waste any space. And so, which is my favorite part because I have little kids, we're going to turn the old elementary school into district-wide pre-K. So right now, our district can only offer a limited amount of pre-K, and it's based on a few who qualify. So if the bond's passed, we'll turn the new elementary school into district-wide pre-K, which I think will be a huge option, getting kids into school earlier, just getting them prepared for kindergarten, and then I think it'll just set them up for success for the rest of their, academic career. And then another part of the elementary school will be transforming some of those classrooms into administrative offices because they're in portables now. So that'll kind of be Prop A. And then Prop B has two pieces, a students event center, which is combined performing arts center and a competition gym. Both will have seating for 2,000, and these spaces will just give us more facilities to fit our enrollment numbers. Our band can barely fit now, as it is now. There's people standing in the halls, outside, things like that. Same thing for pep rallies, and if you've ever been to a basketball or football game,
Yes,
when it's a big game, it's packed. So hopefully this will kind of help address those issues. And then the second part of that is the multi-purpose facility, which will be huge. Youth sports, football, baseball, band, cheerleading, golf, baseball. A lot of different folks can use it, along with the community. So, really exciting things on both Proposition A and Proposition B.
Certainly, lots of changes. Appreciate that. It seems like there's been some concerns or confusion about how Greenwood has done their bids for these projects. Can you clarify on how bids are or will be taken?
So on that, it's super confusing, and I understand why. Like if you look at any of our pamphlets or anything, there's pictures of schools on there.
Sure.
And people think, well, the schools have already been designed and plans have been drawn up, but that's not really the case. So we work with an architecture firm called Park Hill. They helped us as part of the bond planning committee, and they worked with the school quite a bit. They're a huge architecture firm that's done this all over the state. So they take plans that they know work with school districts and kind of help us along on like the planning side to show like what a school could look like. So none of these are real drawings of schools. And then once the bond passes, then the school has money to pay for architects to draw up these plans. So they go and draw up these plans, and in Texas for a public school, anything that they spend has to go out to public bid. Sure. Over a certain dollar amount.
Yes, ma'am.
So all of this goes out to public bid, and that's when contractors are actually chosen, is whenever it's gone out to bid.
Yeah, so I guess just to kind of summarize that, you have to secure the money before any money is spent on the contractors. Much like you certainly don't want to go build a house and find out, after all the contractors are signed that you can't get the loan.
That's right. Like we don't work for free, and neither do architecture firms.
Yep, makes perfect sense. Let's talk about recapture a little bit. How does that impact our school budget and taxes, as well as if the bond passes? Is that subject to the recapture?
The dreaded recapture. It's been the bane of our existence lately, talking about how this bond all works. So right now, our tax rate, you just see one tax rate. If you look at your property tax bill, you just see one tax rate for the school. Yes, but really it's divided into two. Part of it's M&O and part of it's INS. M&O is the maintenance side. So that's what funds the day-to-day school operations. That part of the tax rate is subject to recapture. And for our school, it's up to like 20 to 25% of the revenue we bring in is subject to recapture. The INS rate is the interest and sinking rate, and it's basically what covers our debt service fund. So whenever a bond is on the ballot, what you're approving as a voter is you're approving the school to go out and incur the debt, but also to adjust their INS rate to cover that debt. And the great thing about doing that and raising the INS rate is INS funds are not subject to recapture. We get to keep 100% of that in our school district.
Okay, well, that stays here. That's a good thing for sure. One of the concerns online is that the previous bond, I believe that was maybe 2017?
2013.
2013. Okay, I was wrong on that one. But that previous bond hasn't yet been paid off. Can you maybe speak towards that a little bit?
It hasn't. It's a 30-year bond, so it's not even really supposed to be paid off until 2043.
Okay.
But our school district has done a really good job of going ahead and paying off parts of that early. Last year they paid off an additional $10 million, and this year they're slated to pay off an additional $15 million. It's a noble goal to have no debt, and personally I think that's great. But for businesses, there's a lot of advantages to leveraging yourself. These bonds have a really low interest rate, and right now they can earn probably more interest revenue than the interest that they would be paying. So there's times that it makes sense to keep some debt on your books.
Okay, makes sense. Next question, heard some people concerned that the bond funds will just be realigned to directly to the sports teams or extracurricular activities. Can you explain what those rules are and how those bond funds are spent?
Don't we wish they could just...
I would love a new football stadium.
I know.
Myself.
I'm sure the school board would all love new Ferraris, but that's just not how it works. There's so many rules around bond money, especially in the state. They do... frequent. I'm not sure exactly how frequent, but they have to report to the state pretty much every dime they spend on the bond with bond money. There's a debt, what's it called? A debt report they have to submit every single year. And on top of that, how can we be sure that they're going to spend the money right? Is all that money is spent in school board meetings. Those are public meetings that anybody can go to, right, and keep an eye on it. It's one of the brilliant checks and balances of our school district, of all school districts, is the money is spent in a school board meeting, in a public meeting. And on top of that, an additional thing we're going to do is, as the bond planning committee is moving forward, we're going to become a bond, if if the bond passes, we're going to become a bond oversight committee. So we'll be providing quarterly reports on where the money is spent and the progress that has been made on construction.
Okay. Last question, kind of specifically towards Proposition B, including an outdoor practice facility that can be used during inclement weather and excessive heat. Is that facility exclusively for football?
No, not at all. When this came onto the bond, I talked to Coach Hill about it because I was concerned too that it would just, it would cause our Proposition B not to pass. And after talking to him, I was like, absolutely, let's do this. He spoke on how it was used in his prior school district. And one of the big things he talked about is, football used the facility, but it was also used by their band, by their cheerleaders. It can be used for track. It can be used for golf. It can be used for baseball. Where it's going to be located, it can be used as an extension of the classroom. Like if you're doing a big science experiment that, you don't want to mess up the school gym floor for some reason, it can be used for that. A big thing is I don't know if you saw them, but all summer those youth sports football team boys were out in full pads practicing all summer long in the heat.
130 degrees out on the field.
And this would give them a place to be able to do it.
Okay, well, we appreciate you coming in and talking about both propositions on the bond. I'm going to throw kind of a curveball at you. Tomorrow there's some activities, right? No school on Tuesday, so that's the final voting day. If you haven't been able to go early vote, I did. I don't know if I'm going to miss out on the activities tomorrow next to the church, but I believe there's you guys are sponsoring a food truck and a bounce house.
We will have food and fun out, and it's for everybody.
So
come on.
So if I've already voted, I can still get a free
Absolutely,
food.
come.
Free food's a big deal for me. So. But
the more the merrier.
Yep. We just want to encourage people to come out and vote if they haven't, and if they have, great. Come enjoy the free food and fun.
Good deal. Ladies, we appreciate it, and we'll be back with you shortly on Greenwood Sports Network.
And welcome back to Ranger Rundown. Todd Jones sitting here with Case and Brooke and Dylan Payton. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good. So we've got a couple of defensive back here from our varsity football team. Guys, how did that game on Friday night feel?
It felt great, just to make the playoffs. It was really amazing experience, especially with the game that close.
Yeah, winning walk-off style, did you like that?
I like that.
Were you on the field when?
I was not. I was watching, but.
So you were the two guys dancing together, spinning around like, pirouettes, stuff like that on the sideline?
That was us.
That was y'all? Okay, just want to make sure. All right, back to some serious questions. Are you guys ready to get serious?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All right, here we go. Kaysen, first question to you. What position do you play?
I play free safety.
Okay, and what is the difference between free safety and strong safety?
The biggest difference between the two safeties is alignment. Free safety goes to the boundary while the strong safety goes to the field. And generally, I fit in the box more often. But to be honest, they're pretty similar.
Okay. And for those that might not know, what is the difference between boundary and field?
So the boundary is, let's say you're on the left hash of the field, it'd be to the left. It's whichever side is closer to the sideline.
Okay.
And if it's in the middle of the field, it'd be to passing strength.
Okay. All right. Dylan, what positions do you play?
I play receiver, punter, holder, and nickel.
What's your favorite position?
My favorite? I'd probably say receiver.
Okay. And how challenging is it for you to play both ways?
I mean, it's not too bad. The coaches put us in good position to play both and do certain plays where we just, get in at the right time and just not stay tired in the game.
Okay. A lot of substitution?
Yeah, sir.
All right. Kaysen, what is, for you, when you came up, you sophomore, first year on varsity, right?
Yes, sir.
What was the biggest difference in playing varsity compared to playing, sub-varsity?
The biggest difference is just really the pace of the game. Everything moves so fast, especially during that estacado game. It was just all moving by so fast. The skill of players is a lot different. It was just really tough, especially when you're playing some seniors and juniors.
Yeah, kid that's 6'2", 225, runs like an elk, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
A little bit harder to bring him down a little fast.
A lot harder.
A little harder, yeah. Dylan, what goes through your mind before each play?
I mean, I just always look where everybody's lined up. I just remember what the coaches say, and I just got to know what's going to happen that play. And the coaches always put us in good position to do that. So, really, I just go on that, off of that.
Okay, all right. This is a question for both of you guys. Casey, you go first. What is you guys have been playing football since y'all were little kids, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is one of your most memorable football memories?
Honestly, I'd have to go with our most recent game against Hershey. You know, it was really, that moment was ecstatic when we made playoffs. You know, especially us being our first time on varsity, especially as sophomores.
Yeah.
It was just a really great moment.
I agree. How about you?
I would say the first day when Coach Gill out here, or Coach Hill, he sat us down in the weight room and he told us he's our new coach, and he had the biggest voice crack I have ever heard. Everybody wanted to laugh, but we didn't want to laugh for our new coach. So I would say that's the best. Probably.
You know, he's still a grown boy.
He is. Yeah.
He's still a grown boy.
Still a grown boy.
Yeah. You know, that Friday night game, it was pretty exciting in the press box too. And I think we're going to hear Josh and I talk a little bit about it, but we were definitely high-fiving in the game, and we were happy for you guys. So. With that kind of being said, all seriousness aside, you guys ready to play a little bit of a question game here?
Of course.
All right, you guys remember the rules with the cards?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a question, and you guys hold up the answer that you think which person this answer pertains to the most. You ready? All right. Who is the funniest? Dylan is the funniest. All right.
I hate to admit it, but he is the funniest.
He is the funniest. Okay.
He's just really corny.
Well, we want honesty. Right. Honesty here is the most important thing, except for humor. Who is the fastest?
Depends, but I'm going to have to go with Dylan.
Okay. Who is the hardest hitter?
Ooh, I say Casey.
Man,
yeah,
you guys, there's no conflict here. Who has the dirtiest locker? Oh, what? There we go. A little adversity there.
Such a lie.
Who would win in a dance fight?
Dylan, you know, I got 2 left feet.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Who would win in Jeopardy?
Oh, my.
That's an easy one.
That's an easy one? You're the smart one and the good-looking one?
Of course.
Oh, wow.
Good looking.
All right. Who is the most likely to jump into a swimming pool in freezing weather? Kaysen. All right, last question. Make sure I read this right. Whose mom would win if they arm wrestled each other?
Ooh. You know,
Whose mom would win if they arm wrestled each other?
You know, just to protect myself, I'm going to have to go.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, Mom.
All right, guys, that's a little bit of fun. I thought you guys might enjoy that last question a little bit. In all honesty, it's been great watching you guys grow on the field and see how you guys have changed since that Estacado game and how you're not sophomores anymore. And so we love watching you guys up in the booth. You're great representatives of what Greenwood is all about. And so I appreciate you guys coming in and wish you guys nothing but the best of luck against Glen Rose on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so next on Ranger Rundown, we're going to see a clip of the last plays of Friday's game. Hear Josh and I's call on that. And then Coach Hill is going to step in. He's going to discuss the big win and talk a little bit about Glen Rose. So stick with us on Greenwood Sports Network.
All right. So Hershey got their 7 points from the 25. Now it's the Rangers' turn. Todd, what's the first play?
Josh, the touchdown play. That is the first play that I call is the touchdown play.
Okay.
I think, Josh, I think you put Mayfield in there and run him a little bit and then try to find Rowalt or Madrid on a Rowalt on a rollout pass.
Here's my first play. You hold up Tyson Smith the block for just 2 seconds and then roll him out behind the linebacker, and it goes to Tyson Smith. We'll see what Madrid does here. Madrid's going to keep it himself over the right side. Got a little bit of hold, makes his spin move after about 5 yards, picks up 6, down to the 19.
Good run there by Madrid, using Booker as a lead blocker. We're going to pull our trips to this near side. Tyson Smith is the tight end. on this near side too, so we're heavy to the left.
See what Booker does here. Madrid's going to step back and then go forward. That's going to be good enough for the first down. Move the chains. As Booker kind of just vacated out the right side.
Man, the way he jerked, Josh, I thought we were going to get a face mask call because it looked like his body kept going forward and his head didn't, but we don't get a flag, so I guess it was clean.
Madrid doesn't weigh so much.
He does not.
I think he kind of got thrown around on that one. But nevertheless, moves the chains down to the 14-yard line. Rangers picking up a little bit of steam. We got this cluster of receivers at the bottom of the screen here. Madrid's going to keep it himself. He finds the edge. He's at the 5. Todd, they missed the tackle.
Touchdown,
and Madrid
Rangers.
is in for the touchdown. Oh, my gosh. How do you miss so many tackles on such a small guy? Is he that shifty?
He is the epitome
Got a little shake and bake?
of shifty.
Todd, I don't know if we're going to have time for this replay, but it looks like we've got our 2-point conversion out here. I don't think we're kicking this. We're calling a play.
I agree with you. We're going for the win.
Oh, my gosh.
I love the call. I love it, Coach.
Here we go.
Let's go get it.
Here it comes, direct snap. Oh, Booker's going to keep it over the right side. He's going to get hit.
He's in. Touchdown! Touchdown, Rangers! They score the 2 point, and they get the win.
Get the replay. Oh, my gosh. I don't even know what happened right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Madrid was not on the field. We had Booker in the backfield. He takes the direct snap, fakes the handoff to the reverse, fakes the reverse. He absolutely lays out for that touchdown and picks it up. Greenwood Rangers, big upset of the night, 29-28 against the Wichita Falls Hershey. Golly.
Oh, my goodness. Josh, let's go to the replay here.
Wow.
The touchdown from Madrid.
Great seal there by Booker. Misses one block with tackle, 2 tackles, gets into the end zone. And then here comes the 2-point.
They hustle everybody
So
in,
Madrid
Josh.
is not even on the field right here.
No, he's not.
Booker gets
The
the
direct,
direct
snap.
fakes the reverse, fakes out the camera guy, and you see him finally at the top of your screen, far side of the field, dives in, gets hit as he dives for that touchdown, that 2-point conversion. What a great game. That was a fantastic game. That was a clean game, right? Not a whole lot of flags being thrown, no egregious calls that we didn't like. Wow. If you left the stadium, it is electric here tonight.
Josh, let's go to this view right here of the 2-point conversion. It's a little shaky, but you can see him going around the corner, catching the end and falling into the end zone.
That fake reverse to roll waltz sold it. Booker had at least 3 Huskies, thought they had the right pursuit angle, and Booker absolutely rolls over that safety. I believe it was safety that came up.
Well, Josh, we lost all of our cameras. They're ready to go home. So there's your scoreboard. Rangers 29, Wichita Falls Hershey 28. Unbelievable.
What a fantastic game. Great replay there by Coach Thomas. Welcome back to the Greenwood Sports Network, live from Rooster's backyard. Now we've got Coach Hill with us. Coach, exciting game.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's jump into it.
I mean, you couldn't tell that we didn't have any fun
Right.
Friday night, did we, Josh? It was,
Well, that makes 3 of us.
yeah, no emotions whatsoever in the press box. So, yeah, we didn't have any fun whatsoever. Coach, let's watch some highlights from Friday's game, and then we'll talk a little recap after that.
Yeah, that sounds great. It was, we talked a little bit kind of in the break. It was a really clean game. No personal fouls, no turnovers. Got a great performance out of our, all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And we've talked about Lincoln Madrid and how much he's come on lately, especially with his feet in the running game. It's 2 games in a row. He's gone over 100 yards rushing. That was a great run right there. And then, he's always been a really, really sharp passer as far as his accuracy, putting the right touch on the ball. He finds, Cade Rowalt there, Ethan Madrid before that, and just did a great job. And then, defensively to hold, a really talented Hershey offense to 21 points in regulation is, you just look at the growth. We gave up 65 week one, and then, 10 weeks later we're holding a really potent offense to 21. That's pretty impressive, and that group has grown, exponentially over the first, 2.5 months of the season. Those guys have done a great job. And then, this is another Lincoln Madrid extending a play with his feet, finding a way to get the ball out and put it on the money there to Cade, who evades a couple tackles and gets to the end zone to really level the score for us and get us back in the game momentum-wise. And then here it is behind some great blocking. Carbajal and Barraza and Chavez do a great job opening up some space. And then, kind of the play of the night for us right here was – Tylen Booker finding that front pylon, and he, I think the whole stadium, both sides were holding their breath on that if he was going to get there or not, and he found a way to get that ball inside that front pylon. Did a great job for us. Tylen ran hard all night, and I was just really excited to get the win in that fashion. It was great.
It was great.
Yep, certainly a good win. Coach, before we get on too far, how about we talk about the role of number 11, Lucas Stringfield? And I believe there was a record that was tied.
Yeah, Lucas did a great job, and he knocked down 2 field goals, through early in the game that, without those, we're not even talking about overtime. He did a fantastic job for us. And, the kicking game is, the role of a kicker, a lot of that's mental. And he bounced back from a Graham game and was able to get in the record book. There's been I guess Lucas is the fourth person to make 2 field goals in a game. Most recently was last year. Rance Purser did it, and so I was really, really happy. That's been a goal of Lucas's all year to get on that board in the field house, the record board, and he did a great job knocking those 2 down in the first half for us.
Yeah. So speaking of kicking game,
yeah,
the last play of regulation was that blocked kick from about 40 yards out, kind of where we were kind of sitting trying to get that ball to go through the goalpost. After that block, what was the team's attitude at the end of regulation when you're heading into overtime? What did you see in the guys' eyes?
No, I don't know if it was specific to that moment. I think it was all week. There wasn't a whole lot of questioning, if we were going to win or not. There wasn't a whole lot of hope. It was more expectation that we were going to win. And I think a lot of that goes back to the Graham game, and we played them to basically a 4-point game and felt really good about ourselves. We had a great week of practice, and before the game, obviously in the first half we played well. Halftime there was just kind of a quiet confidence about us, and even after the blocked field goal attempt, I don't think there's any doubt that we were going to win. You could see it in our players' eyes, offense, defense, special teams. We just needed a few more plays to get it done, and I don't think that the game was ever in question as far as the guys in blue were concerned.
Coach takes us back, beginning of overtime, Hershey got the ball first, scored their touchdown, went for extra point, so 7 on the board. Then we get the ball, end up in the end zone as well. What was going through your mind, the decision that you made to go for 2 on that to win the game?
Yeah, at the coin toss, when we won the toss and elected to defend first, had a pretty good idea that we were going to be going for 2. That was kind of in the back of our mind anyway, that was probably going to be the way it played out. But the overtime rules, you only get 1 timeout. You don't get to carry the timeouts from the second half with you. And so when they scored first, they had a little confusion about what they were going to do as far as kick it or go for 2, and they didn't have the right personnel on the field, and they had to burn their timeout. And so when that happened, we knew that we were going to put a new personnel group out on the field, one without our quarterback, one that they weren't, because they'd already used that timeout, they weren't going to get to take a second to reevaluate what they wanted to do defensively. And so after they burned that timeout, it was a no-brainer. When we scored, we were going to go with what we call our Ranger package, kind of a heavier personnel set, and we were going to be able to get the playoff without them, getting to draw stuff up on the board. And so it was a no-brainer at that point, and it felt good about the look. We still had a timeout, and Coach Gill liked the defense that Hershey was set up in, and so we ran the play, and luckily we got some good blocking on the perimeter, and Tylen found the pylon, and that was it. So
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Good
That's
one.
right.
So we talked about some of the players, coach, that had a big impact on that game. Let's talk about the game that Lincoln Madrid had and kind of his growth over the course of the season that you've seen.
Yeah, even going back to Estacado and before that, into the summer, it's just an incredible amount of maturity, a lot of poise in the pocket. Through the summer and the early part of the season, probably more of a pocket passer, had the ability to extend plays with his feet, but just always has been an accurate passer with the right amount of touch, and not so much of a vocal leader as he is just one that leads by example. But here in the last month of the season, he's really started to extend plays with his feet. We've decided to run the quarterback more, and when you've got a running quarterback, it really opens up your offense a little bit. And then his confidence level, it's always been high, but he's becoming more vocal, just a great leader. And like I said, 2 games in a row, over 100 yards rushing. Couple that with some really accurate and timely passes, and he's just getting better and better every week. And so excited to watch him play Friday night. And the best thing about it is we got 2 more years with him, so we're excited. He's done a fantastic job for us.
Yeah. Kind of going back to extending those plays with his legs. We couldn't agree more. The past 4 or 5 weeks, it just seems like as soon as he gets loose, everybody has trouble bringing him down. And it's like a physics math problem. Like he should come down pretty quick, right? But just continues and never gives up, and trying to make those extra
Well, the
yards.
last drive in regulation, we had 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 8, and a 2nd and long, and he converted them all with his feet. And so that's what you're looking for from a quarterback that's in the maturation process. He's done a great job.
Did you baptize him in Vaseline before the game or something like that? 'Cause he's a real slipper.
He's hard to bring down. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
Coach, now that we're in preseason action, are there any differences between regular season practice, pregame, getting ready for the next team than what you see in the postseason?
As far as the week of preparation, I think our goal is to make it, as coaches, is to make it exactly the same for the players. We're going to practice first, second down, offense and defense on Monday. Tuesday is going to be more of a third down red zone day, and Wednesday we kind of put it all together and get ready for Friday night. I think the main difference is probably for the coaching staff. In the district schedule, you get their games, the opponent's games, as they play them. Week by week those games come in, but you don't know who your playoff opponent's going to be until 10:30 Friday night. And so Saturday morning you get 10 games all of a sudden, and it's kind of drinking from a fire hydrant there for a little bit, just trying to get everything processed and broken down and figure out what they're going to try to attack you with. So hopefully for the players they don't notice the difference, but for the coaching staff it was a long Saturday and Sunday for sure.
Ducks on water?
That's right. That's exactly right. Those feet are pedaling pretty fast.
Well, you mentioned that you've got just a few hours to get ready for a team, and the team that we're going to be going up against is the district winner from their district, Glen Rose. What should we expect from Glen Rose on Friday? Well,
they're the district champion, and rightfully so. They've got a really talented offense. Offensive line is big and physical. It's going to rival some of the ones that we've seen in our pre-district schedule. The quarterback's got a great arm, and is able to connect with some talented receivers. We've got a tight end, number 24, that the offense kind of runs through him. He does a good job. And then defensively, it's an odd front with a lot of different pressures, some exotic blitzes from both the field and the boundary. They do quite a bit defensively as well. So, we're going to have to, mind our P's and Q's this week, and it's going to be a mental challenge for us as much as anything. But the truth is we played a really tough pre-district schedule, and in our district, the last 4 games have been dogfights: Snyder, Sweetwater, Graham, and Hershey. And so we feel good about kind of the adversity we faced early on. We're expecting it to pay dividends as we get into the playoffs, and so Glen Rose is very well coached, very talented, but I like our team. I really do.
Good.
Coach, a Greenwood win means what for our playoff future?
Yeah, it's kind of the same deal. We were waiting to see how our game with Hershey and the Snyder-Sweetwater game played out to see who our opponent might be, and so same deal. We've got to take care of business against Glen Rose, and if we do, we've got the winner of Fort Stockton-Perryton in the next round. So it'll be we're gonna prepare like our life depends on it, because it does, and we're going to get after them Friday night. And if things fall our way, then we'll be drinking from a fire hydrant again Saturday morning against one of those two teams.
Well, I hope you do.
Yeah.
I hope you are. Coach, when we first kind of started this Ranger Rundown, one of the things you said is that there's 3 seasons during football, and you got you got non-district, you have district, and then you have the playoffs. So congratulations on getting to the 3rd season, and we hope that we get to see a couple games in that.
Well, I
in
appreciate
that.
that.
So,
Thank you so much.
So, man, that game Friday night
it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
and hold on, we got to talk about this guy right here. My voice crack was not that bad. It wasn't.
Well,
memorable maybe, but it was not that bad, Dylan.
I feel like we've heard a few.
Well, maybe once or twice.
There's been a couple.
Well, Coach, you probably think that we're at the end, but Todd's got some special questions for you.
All right.
Some very, very special questions that you have to answer right and should answer very quickly.
Do I get to hold up
You
signs?
do not get to hold anything up. But
nor is it multiple choice.
This is kind of a little personal here, so are you ready to go?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, so you ready? Here, I'm ready. Let's go. You ready?
I haven't seen these.
I know you have not. That's the purpose of them. You ready?
Great. Sure.
What's your anniversary?
It's in June.
June what?
29th.
What year?
Don't worry about that.
No, come on. What year?
2019.
2019.
Oh, there it is.
All right. What is your wife's favorite fast food joint?
Whataburger.
Oh, that is incorrect. Rose's is the correct answer.
That's not fast food.
Yes, it is.
We sit down at Rose's.
What is your?
Do you normally stand up to eat?
I drive through my fast food restaurant.
All right, he is 1 for 2. What is Summer's favorite color?
I don't know. She's like a yellow person, I think.
Okay.
Blue? Ranger blue. I think their answer is Ranger blue.
It is blue. It is
Ranger blue.
Great
Todd.
answer.
If you go to Whataburger and get a milkshake for her, which one will she appreciate the most, a chocolate or vanilla milkshake?
Vanilla. The answer
Vanilla,
is vanilla.
that is correct.
But she goes to Chick-fil-A for milkshakes. I've been scolded before.
Chick-fil-A milkshake.
Chick-fil-A, yes.
A Brahms milkshake is the best, but we don't have one of those here. They're pretty good.
We'll work on that.
We'll talk about it. What classes does she teach?
I'm being ambushed right now.
A little bit.
Yeah, just
a little bit. I hope you
social media marketing.
And
one of it's social media, and the other one's marketing.
how about real estate?
And real estate.
And real estate.
Yes.
All right. Is she a night owl?
She proctors.
She does a lot
Real
of a little bit of everything. Is she a night owl or an early bird?
Right now, neither.
Okay, that is the answer.
There we go.
Neither or both. Yes.
There we
we'll
go.
take that. What chore would she give up forever if it was an option?
Laundry.
Yes, it's specifically your laundry.
That's fair. That's fair. But she's fantastic. She does a great job.
I'm sure she does.
Yes.
Yes, she does.
She does.
You're trying to make up for not knowing.
there's
that it was
brownie
Rose?
points right there.
I am.
Okay.
This whole line I object to this whole line of questioning.
Well,
by
there's
the way.
a couple more.
If I was an
You
attorney.
can't go anywhere. We're live.
What number
You're
did she
right.
wear when she played at Auburn?
23.
Oh, so close. 21.
10. 21.
So close. All right, here's the one. This
You're
is the money
making me
question.
look terrible right
This is the money question. You ready? It's not her fault. It's
Next
me.
week we're asking questions about your spouse.
Float in
it's
the
me.
answer.
This is
What
ridiculous.
flowers should you buy her to get out of trouble? So, in other words, what flowers are you going to buy her tomorrow?
I don't know. Not roses.
Not roses. That is
not
correct.
roses.
That's
Not-
possible.
not-
Yeah.
What's that?
There's
Tulips.
That's so not right.
Daffodils.
Nope.
How many more flowers can you possibly guess?
I don't know.
I wouldn't have gotten either one of these.
The Louis Vuitton purse.
That will get you out of trouble.
No.
The correct. We
No,
were looking for.
we're not buying that. I
We
know
were
that.
looking for
We're not
daisies
doing that.
or hydrangeas.
Hydrangeas. That
Yeah.
was on the tip of my tongue.
I thought it might be.
Close. Very
I was
close.
just kidding.
Summer, thank you so much for your help.
I think you threw out dandelion. Did you really say that? Or was that just in my head?
That's what you get your laugh.
Okay, a little extra fun there.
This is the worst Ranger rundown ever.
I'm thinking it was like the greatest
Ever.
Ranger.
I know
rundown.
that was pretty
The
good.
mom arm wrestling question just
That was solid.
That was
good.
solid. That kicked
was
it right
good.
off right there.
That was good.
Well, I hate to end the fun, but that's all we've got for tonight. Once again, we thank our big sponsor, Rooster's Backyard, for hosting the show once again. And if you're interested in promoting your business on either the Ranger Rundown or any of the Greenwood Sports Network programs, reach out to Coach Thomas at ktomas at greenwood.esc18.com. .net for more information.
.net. I know that by heart because I have to type it into the computer twice a week. Stay up to date on all Greenwood athletics on the social media platforms on the screen. For Josh, Coach Thomas, and myself, thanks for watching Ranger Rundown, and we hope to see you next time on the Greenwood Sports Network.